Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Valkyrie Basketball. Hi, it's James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals, with you live from Missoula, Montana, and Loyola Sacred Heart High School. At the Loyola Event Center, right next to the football field. First game, we're going to see the Valkyries in their dark black with blue trim uniforms. The visitors taking on the Loyola Breakers. Now, Bigfork just coming off a big win on the road last Saturday as they went down to Anaconda, took on the Lady Copperheads, and took that game 56-49. A good road win for the Valkyries as they go to 2-2 on the season. They opened up the season splitting games over in Shelby at the Coyote Tip-Off Classic earlier in the month, and then last week at home on Thursday lost the nail biter, got off to a slow start and lost to Eureka in that ball game on Thursday, but came back on Saturday, hit the road, and took on the Lady Copperheads, able to win that ball game down in Anaconda. So a big game tonight, non-conference, but always a good rivalry with Bigfork and Loyola, taking on the Breakers. And our second game tonight, it'll be televised as well. It'll be the Vikings taking on the Rams. That'll be going on about 30 minutes at the conclusion of this ball game. We're running a little bit behind. We got about 7 minutes to tip off. Was scheduled to tip at 5:30. Earlier ball game, you didn't catch it in the boys JV, 62-46. It was Loyola over Bigfork. Bigfork in that game, obviously missing the 6'7" Colt Thornus, and but they battled tough in that ball game. And so a doubleheader tonight. Actually, boys JV and then girls varsity and boys varsity from the Loyola Event Center on the campus of Loyola High School. Let's get to your starting lineups. Let's first of all, for Loyola in their whites with the red numbers, starting for Loyola Sacred Heart, the Breakers, it'll be Sam Clevenger at 5'11", junior forward, number 2. Number 5 is a 5'7" freshman guard, Lanny Walker. At 5'8", senior forward, number 10, Ashton Leibel. A junior guard at 5'6", number 11, Sydney Kopang. And Kelsey Esch, a 5'7" sophomore guard, number 20. The Breakers are led by head coach Travis Walker, assisted by Chris Clevenger and Abby McGill. That'll be your starters tonight for Loyola. We'll be tipping off here shortly. And for the Valkyries tonight, still without Rakaya Grindy, recovering. And if you're listening out there, Rakaya and the Grindy family, our thoughts and prayers out to you for a full recovery. Get healthy, Rakaya. Hopefully get to see you soon. But for the Valkyries, at 5'7", a guard and forward, junior, number 10, Meredith Bedford. A 5'3" guard, number 12, Heidi Schneller. At forward and center, senior, 5'8", number 21, Jordan Nelson. A 5'8" forward and center, junior, number 24, Ensley Edgerton, who had a big night, I understand, down in Anaconda, shooting well from the outside. And a guard forward at 5'7", junior, number 33, Isabella Sanesteven, for the head coach, Courtney Gunlock, assisted by Jim Blow and Brandy Couture. Of course, Jamie and Jason Grandy will not be here tonight. Hopefully they return to action soon. We'll maybe see them at home when the Valkyries take on the Columbia Falls Wildcats coming up on Thursday. But that's your starting lineups for both teams. We'll be back here shortly. We'll get your national anthem, and we'll get the tip-off of the Valkyries and the Breakers from Loyola. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals. 406-270-7384. Text me. Let me know that you can hear me out there. You're checking it and listening to the ball game. And we'll give you a shout out. So we'll be back momentarily with the tip-off between the Breakers and the Valkyries from Loyola. Once again, welcome back to Loyola Sacred Heart High School. The Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center, home of the Rams and the Breakers. Tonight, it's the Valkyries taking on the Breakers in the first of our doubleheader. And I want to shout out to our sponsors and thank them as well. Obviously, always to Bigfork Harvest Foods and Marcus Balgos and Company for sponsoring our games on the road. And then a sponsor this week, His Biz, Paint and Renovate, www.hisbiz.us. Hoagie Hogan, out of Summers, Montana. His Biz specializes in paint and renovate of exterior, interior for both residential and commercial projects. His Biz also does snow removal, which could be coming soon. Contact His Biz at www.hisbiz.us or 270-1998. Thank you to Hoagie for sponsoring Bigfork basketball. Well, getting things underway here, we're going to get the national anthem and get this game tipped off and started from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center here in Missoula, Montana. Glad you could join us out there. Let me know if somebody's listening out there. 406-270-7384. The voice of the Vikes of Vals, James LaFontaine, along with you to bring you this ball game. Actually, both ball games here from Missoula, Montana, Loyola Sacred Heart. So I'm going to say right here was they do the national anthem, so you can listen along. So a pretty decent crowd. I think we match what's on the Loyola side, on the Bigfork side, maybe a few more, and hopefully more trickling in as the game goes on. We're getting here about 10 minutes to 6, so. Well, honoring America with the national anthem, and they'll do their starting lineups, and we'll get underway here from Missoula, Montana, 406-270-7384. Text me, let me know that you're listening out there. We'll listen to the starting lineups as they're introduced. Bigfork first, followed by Loyola.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome the starting five for the Valkyries. Junior, to our number 33, it's Isabella Sanesteven.
Santa Steven being introduced. 3 officials tonight for the ball game. Edgerton, the junior, had a great game again against Anaconda to lead the Valkyries in that win. Key to the offense. So was Isabella, shooting from the outside. Meredith Bedford, a lot of ball handling, running the point for the Valkyries. Missed the tournament in Shelby as she was sick, but she's back now, so it's good to have her back. Jordan Nelson, the senior, the speedster. Rebound. And get underneath. And then the senior as well, Heidi Schneller, makes this team go with Rakaya being out. So that'll be key tonight's ball game. How can they handle the pressure and as well be aggressive and take some shots, take care of the basketball tonight. Kelsey Esch, the younger sister, Elsa Esch, that graduated, a good ball player here at Loyola. Kopang, younger sister of the David Kopang, went on as a redshirt freshman for the Montana Grizzlies in football. Ashton Leibel, 5'8" forward, and Sam Clevenger, a 5'11" forward. So this will be an interesting ball game tonight. All right, we're ready to tip up. It'll be Ansley tipping off against Clevenger in the middle. Valkyries heading to left and right on your dial, and Loyola heading right to left as Edgerton. Clevenger tipped up, tipped to the backcourt. It'll be Loyola basketball to start off. Kopang in the corner, over to Esch. Esch on the drive, and Heidi Schneller tried to get there, but got a blocking foul on Schneller. That'll be her first foul, and first team foul on the Valkyries. So Ash will be at the free throw line, makes the first free throw. And one more to come for Kelsey Esch. Up and good. 7:54, 2-0 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard as Loyola going to get pressure in the backcourt. Schneller over to Santa Steven. Santa Steven trap, gives it up to Schneller. Looking up the court, gives it up to Ansley. Edgerton down the right side in the corner. Back out to Schneller. On the drive goes Schneller, up off the backboard, and good. 2 points for Heidi Schneller. Ties the ball game up here in the first quarter. Quickly up the court, gets it underneath. Does Ash, feeds it into Leibel, rebounded by Kopang. Kopang kicks it out. Ash with the basketball, shoots off the rim, and coming down with the rebound is Heidi Schneller as it bounces around. Up the right side goes Schneller. Looking in the corner, finds Edgerton. Edgerton trapped underneath, back out to Schneller. Schneller looking to drive. Stolen away by Kopang. And Kopang going to bring it across the half court. Kicks it up all the way to Walker. Walker takes it on the drive, left hand, and makes the shot. In to Bedford. Bedford over to Schneller, right side. Schneller with the basketball. Kicks it down the corner. Santa Steven on the right side, out towards the top for Schneller. Feeds it over to Meredith Bedford on the left side. Back on top, Isabella Santa Steven. Over to Bedford, left side. Looks at Schneller and brings it out to top to set it up. Schneller on the left side. Looking underneath. Hits Santa Steven. Santa Steven talked about shooting that three. Kicked underneath and stolen away by Kopang. Feeds the ball up to Walker. Walker makes the basket. Inbound to Schneller. Back to Santa Steven. Pressure put on by Loyola. Schneller across the half-court line by Santa Steven. Over to Bedford on the left side, top of the key to Santa Steven. Over to Schneller on the right side, looking down and finds Nelson, kicks it out. Edgerton, three-point shot on the way, in and out, no good. And rebounded there by Ashton Leibel for Loyola. Up the left side, Kopang, across the middle. Gives it up to Walker. Walker out to Clevenger. Clevenger at the top of the key. Nelson putting pressure on, knocks it away, and out of bounds. It'll be Loyola basketball with 5:46 to go here in the first quarter. And the first substitute for the Valkyries entering the ball game is number 11, Emma Barrett, replacing Isabella Santa Steven. And 5:46 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. 6-2 Loyola leads Bigfork. Kicked out to Walker. Walker tried to drive, and Bedford tried to get in the way, but she got called for a blocking foul. Yeah, that's Meredith Bedford's first and the second team foul on the Valkyries. Inbounded to Kopang. Over to Clevenger. Back to Walker. Back to Clevenger. Three-point shot on the way by Clevenger. Off the rim and no good. Nelson rips down the rebound, gets it to Schneller. Up to Barrett. Barrett left side gets it over to Edgerton. And back to Barrett. Barrett takes it up, and before the shot, the basket went in, but it'd be no good. And foul will be on the ground on number 10, Ashton Leibel. Her first team foul on Loyola. Inbounding is Schneller. Schneller looking for somebody, finds Barrett. Barrett off the rim, backboard, and no good. And rebounded by Clevenger. Up to Kopang. Kopang on the drive. And there we go. This time, Edgerton was set and she's going to get the player control foul. Number 11, Sydney Kopang, her first and team second, inbounded. Right side to Edgerton. Edgerton trap, gives it to Barrett. To top of the key, feeds it over to Bedford. Over to Schneller. Schneller on the drive finds Edgerton. Edgerton shot up short, no good, but Edgerton battles for the rebound. Come down by Barrett with the basketball. Feeds it out to Bedford, top of the key. Over to Heidi Schneller. Schneller going to drive it, puts it up. Oh, off the side of the rim, and no good, but she's going to go to the free throw line, and she'll get 2 shots for the Valkyries. Fouls on number 10. That's Ashton Leibel. That's her second, third team foul at the line. Heidi Schneller to shoot 2 for the Valkyries. First one's up and good. And replacing Leibel is number 3, Lainey Denning for Loyola. And Schneller will get her second shot up off the back of the rim and no good. Knocked out of bounds, taken out of bounds by number 2, Sam Clevenger. So that'll be Bigfork basketball underneath, and Schneller will take it out. Schneller looks, finds Edgerton on the left side. Edgerton on the drive, puts it in, score the bucket, and she'll go to the free throw line with 4:46 and the clock still running. Well, about extra 10 seconds ran off. So Edgerton's basket was good. She'll go to the free throw line to shoot the and one. Shot up off the backboard, off the rim and backboard, good. We're tied at 6 with 4:36 to go on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Brooke Twite, number 1, checking in for Loyola. Twite with the basketball. Looking for Clevenger, gets it over to Esch. Esch to Clevenger. On the drive is Walker. Walker takes it in. And looked like Schneller was set on that and going to call a blocking foul on Heidi Schneller. That's her second and third team foul. So she might have to sit as Lanny Walker goes to the line. Shoot 2, first shot off the rim and no good. And checking in for Bigfork, it'll be number 40, Ashton McAnella, replacing Heidi Schneller. And Walker will get another free throw attempt. Up and good. 4:23 to go, 7-6 Loyola. Into Bedford. Bedford trap, finds Edgerton. Edgerton looking up, finds. Up to Nelson, takes the loose ball off the backboard. Good for Nelson. 8-7 as Nelson makes the layup. Walker dribbles up court. Feeds it over to Esch. Out to cut Twite. Shot on the way. 3-point shot is no good, but Clevenger right there to clean it up, put it back in for 2. Bedford feeds it up to McAnally and knocked out of bounds by number 1, Brooke Twite. So it'll be off Loyola. It'll be Bigfork basketball with 3:51 to go here in the first quarter. Barrett on the sideline. Looking to inbound the basketball. Feeds it to Bedford. Back to Barrett. Barrett gets blocked to the sideline. And that's going to be a foul on Twite. As Barrett trying to drive up the left side and Twite steps in. And that's a blocking foul. Her first and 15th foul in Loyola. Barrett inbound to Bedford in the backcourt. Barrett across the timeline. Left side finds McAnally in the corner. McAnally going to drive, take it all the way in, and she's going to go to the free throw line and get 2 free throws as she drives the lane, gets fouled there by Lainey Denning, and that's Lainey's first. And McAnally to the line for 2. First one up off the front of the rim, backboard, and good for McAnally. We're tied at 9. McAnally will get 1 more for the Valkyries. Shot up. Bottom of the net for a 10-9 lead for Bigfork on your Harvest Food scoreboard. 3:38 to go. Walker. Over to Esch. Out to Clevenger. Clevenger spin move. Tries to get it. Nearly stolen by Edgerton. Stolen away by Nelson. Barrett with the basketball on the left side. Finds McAnally. on the wing on the right side. McAnally looks underneath, kicks it in the corner. Bedford, baseline, back out to McAnally. Over to Barrett. Barrett on the drive, looking to shoot. Feeds it out to McAnally. Over to Barrett. Bedford, three-point shot, a little bit long, and Nelson right there. And Nelson's going to get charged with the foul on rebounding, her first and fourth team foul. Ash with the basketball. Over to Denning. Denning feeds it into Walker. Walker on the drive. Gives it up. Oh, but Walker's standing on the baseline. Gave it up to Twite. Twite right back to Walker, but Walker was standing on the end line and out of bounds. It'll be Bigfork basketball, and entering the game is number 30, Sailor Martins for the Valkyries with 2:54 to go here in the first quarter. Inbounding, McAnally, right side, backcourt, feeds it up to Martins. Martins dribbles it across. And Edgerton with the basketball in the corner, tried to feed Martins, and looking to see which way they called. That was off Martins, Sailor's foot. And out of bounds, it'll be Breakers basketball as Walker brings it up, gives it to Esch. Esch on the drive, over to Clevenger, back to Esch. Esch looking inside. Back to Clevenger, back to Esch, looking for the three-point, drives in, kicks it over to the left side to Clevenger. Clevenger, nowhere to go. Feeds it to Walker. Walker, back out to Esch. Esch on the drive, puts it up, floater, no good. And rebound, come up by Denning. Denning will feed out to Clevenger. Clevenger's three-point shot is no good. And Esch and Ansley Edgerton tied up on the rebound. It'll be Bigfork basketball as they own the possession arrow. And checking in is Natalie Clevenger for Loyola. 2:11 to go on your Harvest Food scoreboard. 10-9, the Valkyries lead the Breakers. Inbound, Barrett in the backcourt. Looking up, looking to drive, the left-handed. Feeds it over to Edgerton on the left side. Underneath to Nelson. Nelson looking to drive. Nelson up, puts the basket up, and good for two. Over the front of the rim, 12-9, Valkyries. Clevenger out to Twite. Twite on the drive, nearly stolen away by Nelson. Back out top. And Walker has the basketball, feeds it over to Twite, into the corner to Clevenger. Up, Twite throws it up. Up and around Barrett, but Barrett is going to be called for the foul. And that is Emma Barrett's first. And the 15th foul on the Valkyries. And going to the line, it'll be Brooke Twite for two shots for Loyola. Twite at the line. First shot up is good. Meredith Bedford will check back in for Sailor Martins. And Twite will get one more shot for Loyola. Shot up the front of the rim and good. And a substitution. Number 24, Violet Whitegrass checking in for Loyola. 12-11, Valkyries lead with 1:38 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. McAnally inbounding the ball. Finds Barrett in the backcourt. Barrett going to drill up the right side. Bothered there by Clevenger. Gives it out. Oh, it's nearly stolen away, but Bedford grabs it. That's tipped. And reaching in, they're going to call a traveling violation on Bedford. And Loyola was kind of all over her. And they called traveling instead with the pressure. Walker over to Esch. Esch back out to Clevenger. On the way, Denning's three-point shot is no good. McAnally with the rebound, and it's going to be the 17th foul, Loyola, and Bigfork will be in the 1-on-1, the bonus situation here in the first quarter as the foul is called on number 24, Violet Whitegrass, her first and seventh team foul on Loyola with 1:15 to go here in the first quarter. And Ashton McAnally will go to the line for the Valkyries to shoot a 1-on-1. Her first shot up and good, so she'll get the bonus with 1:15 to go. And the Valkyries leading 13-11. Off, but the rebound there by Ensley. Edgerton puts it back up, and the Valkyries stretch the lead to 15-11 with 1:09 to go. Walker with the basketball on the front court. Over to Clevenger, over to Denning. Back to Walker, tipped by Nelson. Walker comes up with it. On the drive is Clevenger. She kicks it out to Walker on the right side. Walker gets hammered out top by Edgerton. She went for the steal, and the pass intended for Walker, so that'll be the first foul on Ansley Edgerton and the 16th foul on the Valkyries. Natalie Clevenger to take the ball out for Loyola. Feeds it out to Walker at the top of the key. Walker. Clevenger in the corner to her older sister, Sam Clevenger. Out to Whitegrass. Walker's shot on the way, no good. Edgerton with the rebound. And held ball. And the arrow, possession arrow, points towards Loyola with 41.1 to go here in the first quarter. Whitegrass inbounding to Clevenger. Clevenger shot up off the front of the rim, no good. And Whitegrass gets the rebound, puts it up off the backboard, and good. McAnally inbound. Bedford in the backcourt. Guarded by Clevenger. Over to McAnally, the right side. McAnally looking to drive, finds Bedford. Bedford's got to get across. Feeds it up to Emma Barrett. Emma Barrett on the drive. And crossover off the backboard. Nice move by Emma Barrett. 17-13 Valkyries. Up to Natalie Clevenger. No good. Rebounded by Edgerton. Barrett with the basketball, dribbling it up with 5 seconds to go. Barrett realizing. And it'll be over back violation when the clock runs out. So 1 quarter complete here from Loyola. From the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. Your Bigfork Valkyries 17 and the Loyola Breakers 13. 406-270-7384. If you're listening, let me know. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikings of Vals, live from Loyola Sacred Heart High School here in Missoula, Montana. We'll be back momentarily with quarter number 2 of the Valkyries and the Breakers. All right, welcome back to Missoula, Montana. Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center here, Loyola Sacred Heart. It's the Valkyries taking on the Breakers, and the Valkyries lead 17-13 after the first quarter on your Harvest Food scoreboard. And it'll be Bigfork basketball to start the second quarter. Inbounded, McAnally in the backcourt. Across the timeline, does McAnally. Edgerton underneath, takes an aggressive drive. Oh, off the rim and no good, but Nelson with the rebound. Drive by Barrett. Barrett's jump shot up off the rim, off the backboard, and falls for 2. But Emma Barrett, Walker quickly up the court. Shoots it. Jump shot. Run down there by Clevenger. And Nelson reaches in and picks up her second and 17th foul. And that'll put Sam Clevenger at the line, shooting the 1-and-1 for Loyola. Isabella Stanisiva checking back in, replacing Jordan Nelson, who sits with 2 fouls. So 2 of their starters, Schneller and Nelson, have 2 apiece here in the first half. First shot up and no good. Rebound by McAnally. McAnally looking to drive up the right side, gets it across the timeline, and looking out front, finds Edgerton in the corner. Edgerton looking out, finds Santa Stephen and Bedford at the same time. And take it away, third, Bedford shot up, rolls off the front of the rim, no good, nearly brought down by Edgerton. And Clevenger with the basketball feeds. Esch on the drive, puts the 2 points up, and good for Loyola. 7:04, 19-15 Valkyries on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Bedford across the timeline to McAnally. McAnally looking underneath to Ensley. Edgerton, jump shot, just a little bit hard. Brought down by Santa Stephen, left-handed shot, no good, brings it out. She gets the second rebound to Santa Stephen, feeds over to Bedford, over to McAnally, back to Bedford, the top of the key. Over to McAnally. McAnally, right side, looking to drive. A little more aggressive on the Valkyries. Left-handed shot up, off the rim, oh, and no good. But McAnally will go to the line and get 2 shots for Bigfork. Fouls at number 2, Sam Clevenger, her first and 8th team foul. Ashton McAnally at the line to shoot 2 for the Valkyries. 6:32 to go on your Harvest Food scoreboard, and the Valkyries lead 19-15. McAnally will get 1 more. And McAnally puts it up and good, 20-15. And Heidi Schneller, the senior, will come back in for the Valkyries. And something to notice about Valkyries are being a little more aggressive at taking the ball to the basket and making a shot or drawing a foul. Walker will bring it across for Loyola. Over to Esch. Esch on the right side tosses it out to, stolen away by Schneller. Schneller comes up with a loose ball. And it'll be off. Natalie Clevenger and Bigfork basketball. Schneller getting pressured in the backcourt. And Heidi Schneller will take it out for Bigfork. Schneller looking for Bedford. Finds. And stolen away by Sam Clevenger. Clevenger all the way to the basket, no good. And tipped out of bounds as Santa Stephen battles with Kopang. It's off of Santa Stephen, so Loyola basketball out of bounds underneath. Feeds it out top to Walker at the top of the key. Over to Kopang. Kopang's 3-point shot off the backboard, no good. Edgerton with the rebound, gives it up to Barrett. Barrett trying to go left side. Feeds it up to Bedford. Bedford left side. Being aggressive in the corner to Santa Stephen. Santa Stephen looking for Bedford. Left side. Santa Stephen on the drive to Bedford. Back to Santa Stephen. Over to Barrett. Barrett at the top of the key, looking to drive left. Gives it out to Heidi Schneller at the top of the key. Schneller finds a wide open lane, drives it in, but gets blocked from behind. And Walker comes up with a loose ball, bringing it all the way up court. Feeds Kopang. Kopang's going to be fouled as he tries to shoot the layup by Santa Stevens. And Kopang will go to the line to shoot 2 as the foul is on number 33, Isabella Santa Stephen, her first and 8th team foul. And timeout. A full timeout will be called by the Valkyries. And there goes Zoe Richner tumbling down the basketball court as Bigfork takes the timeout and lead 20-15 in a good ball game here from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. Shout out to Gerald Brevitt listening back up in Bigfork. 406-270-7384. Let me know if you're listening. I'll give you a shout out. Kim Coleman. She's eating dinner. She's listening to the Valkyries. They're playing good. They're playing, what I'll say is, from watching the first couple of games in Shelby, and the game as well against Eureka, a little slow at the start, and I think they've improved that by becoming more aggressive and driving the basketball, learning each other. You know, it's a big loss when you lose your senior point guard and your leader in Rakaya Grindy, but somebody else has to step up, and they're surely doing that tonight. So at the line for 2 shots. It'll be Loyola. First shot is up and good for Kopang. 20-16, 5:27 to go here till halftime on your Harvest Foods scoreboard. So Kopang will get another one. Her second shot up. Rolls around on the rim and drops. Is good. 20-17. And Schneller to inbound. Finds Barrett left side. Barrett looking. She's going to drive. Drives all the way up the left side, finds Nelson. Nelson underneath, shot out the backboard, and good. Nice drive by Barrett. Dumps it into Nelson. Nelson scores the bucket, 22-17. In the corner to Esch. Esch can't handle the pass from Kopang as Esch was looking to shoot that three-point shot. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Bigfork basketball underneath. Barrett takes it out. Looking for Bedford or Schneller. Feeds it to Bedford. Bedford to drive up the right side. And there she tries to dribble it up the right side. She's fouled from behind. And looks like the foul is going to be called on number 20, Kelsey Esch. And that is his first and ninth team foul on Loyola. So Meredith Bedford will go to the line for Bigfork to shoot a 1-and-1. She makes the first one. Of course, she gets the bonus and an opportunity to score two. First one on the way. Off the back of the rim and no good. But Nelson rips down the rebound. Kicks it out to Edgerton, three-point shot on the way. Good, nothing but the bottom of the net for Edgerton, 25-17, Valkyries. Walker, over to Kopang. Kopang looking to drive, feeds it to the corner to Clevenger. Out to Walker, over to Kopang's three-point shot on the way. Off the front of the rim, no good. Nelson with the rebound, feeds it up to Schneller. Schneller looking to drive on Kopang, brings it out. A smart play, feeds it over to Bedford. Bedford, top of the key. Over to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive. Nothing there. Edgerton, three-point shot on the way. Off the back of the rim and no good. And brought down by Clevenger. Up to Kopang. Kopang to the middle key across timeline. Feeds it over to Esch. Esch on the drive. Goes into Edgerton. If Edgerton just stands there, she's going to get the charge call, but she goes up and tries to block it. And that'll be a foul on Ensley Edgerton, her second and 19th foul. And Kelsey Esch will go to line, shooting two. First shot on the way is good for Esch. 25-18, 4:19 to go here till halftime. And the Valkyries leading on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Second shot by Esch is up and good. 25-19, the Valkyries with a 6-point lead. Barrett takes it out of bounds, gives it to Barrett. Barrett on the drive, and she's going to get called for the traveling. Barrett fed the ball to Schneller, right back to Barrett. Barrett driving in, tried to fake it, but didn't go up, and she took steps. And turnover for the Valkyries. Walker brings it across the timeline, top of the key. Looks over for Kopang. Kopang left side, three-point shot on the way, off the rim, off the top, and that is out of bounds. And that'll be a turnover. It'll be Bigfork basketball with 4:03 to go here till halftime. 25-19, the Valkyries lead the Breakers. Inbounded to Bedford. Bedford finds Schneller. Schneller going to drive it up the right side. Being aggressive, looks underneath, and driving right, but cut off there. And knocked out of bounds there by Walker. It'll be Bigfork basketball on the sideline. Ashton McAnally returns to the lineup, replacing Meredith Bedford. And Barrett will take it out on the sideline with 3:55 to go. Feeds it into McAnally. McAnally looking to drive all the way off the backboard, no good. But Edgerton right there with the rebound, up, no good. Rebounded by Barrett and no good. And coming out of there, we'll check the foul. Yeah, the foul is going to be on Heidi Schneller. That is her third here in the first half. And the 10th team foul. So Esch will go to the line and get the double bonus, 2 shots for Loyola. First shot is up and good by Kelsey Esch. Isabella Sanesteven returning, replacing Schneller with the 3 fouls. And she'll sit probably the rest of the first half for Bigfork. Esch gets the basketball. Dribbles a couple times. Shot up. And good by Esch. 25-21, 3:46 to go on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Sanesteven to McAnally. Out to Barrett across the timeline, top of the key. Barrett trap, feeds in the corner. Santa Steven looking back, three-point shot on the way, off the rim and no good, but Barrett will come up with the loose ball for the Valkyries, and dribbling around there left-handed is Barrett. She finds Santa Steven on the left side, out to Barrett. Barrett getting trapped, and she's going to get fouled, and she's going to get 2, as that put the Valkyries in the double bonus. Fouls on number 5 on Lady Walker, Lightning Walker's first and 10th team foul. That'll send Emma Barrett to the line, shooting the double bonus, 2 shots for the Valkyries. 3:21 to go here till halftime, 25-21 on your Harvest Food scoreboard, and the Valkyries lead the Breakers. First shot by Barrett, up a little bit hard off the back of the rim, and no good. Emma will get one more free throw for Bigfork. Second shot up. Oh, rolls in and out, and no good. And Walker will bring it up. Nelson right with her, and Walker all the way to the backboard. And Santa Steven will get the rebound, and on the rebound, Santa Steven is going to get fouled, as Izzy did a great job of boxing out there. She's fouled by number 3, Lainey Denning for Loyola, and that is her second. Santa Steven to the line, shooting the double bonus, 2 shots. First shot off the rim and no good. Valkyries, these free shots at the free throw line, need to put them down. Missed their last 3. Here comes Santa Steven with the second one. On the way, nothing but the bottom of the net. 26-21, 3:13. Inbounded. Walker breaking across the timeline for Loyola. Over to Ash. Ash looking to drive. Harassed there by Nelson. Out to Sam Clevenger. Clevenger with the basketball. Top of the key. Over to Walker, left side. Back out to Clevenger. Clevenger looks to drive in. Feeds it out to Twite. Twite's three-point shot on the way and no good. And the loose ball brought up there by Emma Barrett. Feeds it up to McAnally. Left side across the timeline. And Kelsey Ash is right there and knocks it out of bounds. Off of Loyola, it'll be Bigfork basketball. Santa Steven inbounding. Finds Barrett in the backcourt. Barrett across the timeline, top of the key. Feeds it over to Edgerton. Edgerton on the right side, down in the corner. Looking for Santa Steven, kicks it out. On the wing is Santa Steven. Santa Steven looking to drive, brings it out top. Feeds it to Edgerton. Edgerton didn't see Walker on the backside come and grab the ball and tie it up. And it'll be Loyola basketball with the possession arrow, and 30-second timeout called by Bigfork. 2:27 to go until halftime. 26-21, the Valkyries leave on your Harvest Food scoreboard over the Breakers. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and Vals, here in Game 1 at the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center for Loyola Sacred Heart. The first of a doubleheader tonight. And I'll explain something. I'll end the girls' ball game and start a different streaming. So if you're looking to go from the girls directly to the boys, I'll start 2 different streamings so you get to log in again. And I'll remind you that towards the end of the game. Loyola basketball underneath the far end. Ash gets it inbound to Walker. Walker, the point guard for Loyola, over to Twite. Twite out to Clevenger. Out to Walker, right side. Top of the key to Denning. Denning. Nelson knocks it away, but brought up by Walker. Back to Denning, to Walker. Walker looking underneath. Nowhere to go. Out. Nearly stolen away. Twite comes up with it. In the corner, Ash, jump shot on the way. Off the rim and no good. And Santa Steven comes up with it, but knocked away. Denning with the loose ball. Out to Sam Clevenger. Clevenger trapped on the sideline. And it looked like a good trap, and it foul is going to be called on number 24, Ansley Edgerton. That is her 3rd. And that'll put Loyola at the free throw line, shooting a double bonus, 2 shots. And Edgerton's going to have to sit for the rest of the first half. First shot off the front of the rim, and no good by Clevenger. And Natalie Clevenger comes back in for Loyola, as does Whitegrass. And for Bigfork, replacing Edgerton, number 30, Sailor Martins. Second shot on the way. No good. Martins just coming to the ball game, gets the rebound out to McAnally. McAnally being harassed by Walker up the left side. Feeds it to the Sailor Martins. Martins back out to McAnally. McAnally, top of the key. Looking, surveying it, over to Martins on the left side. And Martins looking for Barrett. Barrett, left side. And Barrett will take a step back, and she's going to travel as the pressure is put on by Loyola with 1:35 to go till halftime. Esch going to inbounds the ball to Walker on the far side. Walker will bring it across the timeline. Top of the key, over to Esch. Esch looking to drive, kicks it out. Shot on the way, no good. McAnally. Shot by Natalie Clevenger. No, McAnally comes to the rebound, gives it to Bedford, up to Sailor Martins. Back out to Barrett. Barrett on the drive, tries to feed it inside to Nelson, but it's kicked away and brought out by Natalie Clevenger. Nelson comes back and steals it away. Barrett for the basketball in the back court. And she tries to, turns it over, and they're going to call a held ball. This time, the Valkyries will get it with 1:05 to go here till halftime. Number 32, Evelyn Demblans Deschaines comes in for Loyola. Inbounded, Barrett to McAnally backcourt. Up the left side, guarded by Whitegrass. McAnally gets it up top of the key. McAnally surveyed over to Martins on the left side. Martins dribbles to the top of the key. Finds Barrett, Bedford. Bedford on the right wing, and traveling is called on Bedford. Got to keep that pivot foot planted. And number 1, Brooke Twite will replace Kelsey Esch. And Walker brings it across the timeline with 45 seconds to go. Out to Whitegrass, underneath to Natalie Clevenger. Shot up, no good. Martins with a great rebound. McAnally has the basketball in the backcourt, harassed by Walker. Screen there by Barrett, and McAnally up the left side, gets to the front court, looking to drive it all the way, gives it over to Sailor Martins. Martins look at the drive, up and aggressive off the backboard, and no good. Rebounded there by Demlins Deschaines. And Walker with the basketball, dribbling it up, takes it in with 17 seconds to go. And looked like Deschaines traveled. Twite out to Whitegrass. Three-point shot in the way, rebounded by Bedford with 8 seconds to go. Bedford, got to get it out there. Sailor Martinez with 4 seconds. Sailor Martinez throws it inside. Off the rim, nearly went in as the buzzer sounds. Jordan Nelson got a good look, but off the backboard, rolls off the rim, and no good. We've reached halftime from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center, the campus of Loyola Sacred Heart High School. And the Valkyries lead this one at halftime, 26-21 on your Harvest Foods scoreboard. James LaFontaine with you, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals. 406-270-7384. Let me know that you're listening in, catching this ball game. We'll be back momentarily. I'll get you your halftime stats from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center as the Valkyries lead the Breakers 26-21 at halftime on your Harvest Foods scoreboard. Well, good afternoon, or good evening, I should say, and welcome back to the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center, Loyola. At halftime, it's your Valkyries leading 26-21. And let me get some scoring update here for you. A couple of Valkyries in foul trouble early. And Emma Barrett with 4. 3 for Heidi Schneller, 6 for Jordan Nelson. Ansley Edgerton has 8. McAnally on 4-6 from free throw line he's got 4, and 1 for Isabella Steven on 1 for 2 at the free throw line here in the first half. They put up 17 in the first quarter, and they put up 9 in the second quarter. Playing some great basketball are the Valkyries. Let's see what else we have here. It's the same 4, yeah. So your halftime score on the Harvest Food scoreboard is 26-21 as the Valkyries lead the Breakers from Loyola. Hey, a big shout out as well, sponsoring your halftime is His Biz Paint and Renovate, www.hisbiz.us. Hoagie Hogan out there in Summers, Montana. Hey, if you're looking, you have an opportunity. His Biz specializes in paint and renovate of exterior and interior for both residential and commercial projects. His Biz also does snow removal. Well, being wintertime, you might need some help, so you better jot this down. Contact His Biz at www.hisbiz, that's HISBIZ.us, or you can call 270-1998 and talk to Hoagie about getting some snow removal done or talking about getting some renovation done on your home. So thanks both to Bigfork Harvest Foods and Hoagie Hogan and His Biz for sponsoring these ball games. Here we'll be back with your second half tip-off, 406-270-7384. James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes of Vals, live from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center as the Valkyries lead this one at halftime, 26-21. Stick around for the second half. Give me a call, 406-270, text me. Let me know that you're listening out there in Valkyrie land. We'll be back momentarily with the second half. All right, welcome back to the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. Home of the Rams and Breakers, Loyola Sacred Heart High School. And the second half, we're about ready to tip off here. And it will be Loyola basketball. Looks like the arrow pointing that direction as the Valkyries lead 26-21 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. And starting for the Valkyries, it'll be Nelson, Schneller, Edgerton, Bedford, and Santa Stephen, the usual suspects starting this game for Bigfork. Walker, Kopang, Esch, Sam Clevenger, and Ashton liable the same starters for Loyola. We're underway, inbound to Kopang at top of the key. Over to Clevenger on the left side. Out to Walker, top of the key. Walker on the drive. Throws it up and no good. Brought down by Bedford. Bedford with a nice rebound. Trying to get it out, is fouled. And they're going to call traveling. Looks like they grabbed her by the arm, but Bedford tried to move forward and pass the ball. And traveling, it'll be Loyola basketball underneath as Kopang will take it out. Kopang underneath, feeds to Clevenger on the left side. Clevenger on the drive, puts it up and no good. And out of bounds off Loyola. It'll be Bigfork basketball. Here with 7:41 to go in the third quarter. Edgerton to take it out underneath. Edgerton gets it in to Schneller. Schneller back to Edgerton, stolen away by Kopang. And Bedford is going to get called for the foul, her second and first team foul. So Sydney Kopang will go to the line to shoot two here for Loyola. Loyola's first shot is on the way, is good for the Breakers. 7:39 to go here in the third quarter. And the shot by Kopang up and good. 26-23 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Inbound. Ansley gets it in to Bedford. Way in the backcourt on the right side, looking to get up, gets it up to Schneller. Schneller looking, driving right side. And the pressure getting to her, and Schneller will turn it over, and it'll be Loyola basketball. Emma Barrett to check in, and Ashton McAnally for the Valkyries here early. Kopang brings it across the timeline, feeds it over the right side to Walker. Walker out to Esch. Esch shot on the way for two, off the rim and no good. And Edgerton will rip down the rebound, feeds it out, nearly throws it away, brought out there by Schneller across the timeline, feeds it underneath to Nelson. Nelson back out to Edgerton. Edgerton, top of the key to McAnally. They'll set it up, will the Valkyries. They need to settle down and just run their offense. McAnally on the drive, kicks it over to Schneller. Schneller back to McAnally left side. McAnally on the drive, looking, put it up, and she's going to be fouled, and she's going to go to the line to get two shots for the Valkyries. 7 minutes exactly here to go in the third quarter, and 26-23, Valkyries leading the Breakers on your Harvest Food scoreboard, and McAnally to the line for Bigfork to shoot two. First shot is up and good, stretches the lead to 27-23, and Ashton will get one more shot for Bigfork. Shot up and on the way, off the rim, and no good. Knocked out of bounds, oh, nearly, by Nelson. And Loyola will come up with it as Clevenger saves it to Kopang. Kopang to Clevenger, back to Kopang, top of the key, looking at the left side to Esch. Esch on the drive, off the backboard, and good for two for Kelsey Esch. And Loyola within two. And Edgerton goes down. On the inbound. I'm not quite sure what happened here, but Ansley will try to inbound it again. Gives it to McAnally, right side. McAnally tell him to clear out. Edgerton up to Schneller on the left side. Snyder's going to drive it right in. Crossover, up and off the front of the rim, no good. But Schneller battling underneath. They're going to get on the floor, and Emma Barrett is tied up. And both Schneller and Barrett with it on the floor, tied up by Loyola. It'll be a held ball. It'll be Bigfork basketball underneath, and Schneller will take it out of bounds for the Valkyries. Nelson right to the basket on the feed from Schneller for two, 29-25, 6:20 to go here in the third quarter. Kopang dribbles it up, out to Esch. Thought about a three-point shot, passes it underneath to Clevenger. Clevenger looks like she took steps, but the foul is going to be called on Bigfork. And that'll be on Jordan Nelson. That'll be her third and second team foul with 6:11 to go here in the third quarter, 29-25 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. The Valkyries lead the Breakers. Clevenger at the line. First shot is up and good. And Clevenger, Sam Clevenger, that is, will get one more. Sam, the junior, and her sister, the freshman, is Natalie. Her second shot is good. 29-27, inbounded to McAnally. McAnally, left side, looking to drive all the way up, brings it across the timeline. And looking to bring it out front, does McAnally, going to drive in the corner, finds Barrett. Barrett looking to drive on Clevenger. And nice up and under for Emma Barrett on the baseline for two. A nice move by the freshman, Emma Barrett. Kopang over to Clevenger. Clevenger going to drive it all the way. Forces it off the backboard for two. And we have a heck of a ball game. Inbound. Schneller back to Barrett. Back to Schneller on the left side. Across the timeline. Schneller looking underneath to Edgerton. Kind of forces it. Edgerton comes up with it. No, Nelson has the ball and feeds it out to Barrett. Barrett is going to drive all the way left-handed off the backboard and good for the right side with the left hand for Emma Barrett. The freshman taking over. Kopang with a basketball across the timeline. Feeds it over to Walker. Walker, three-point shot on the way is good. And 33-32 with 5:12 to go on the Harvest Food scoreboard. McAnally to Schneller. Schneller looking to drive all the way. Feeds it underneath to Nelson. Nelson knocked away by Loyola, and it'll be Bigfork basketball underneath. As Esch and Clevenger way to knock it away from Nelson. Santa Stephen, along with Bedford, back in for the Valkyries, and Schneller will take it out underneath on the near side. Schneller fights Ansley. Edgerton on the inbound pass, that's twice in a row, and Edgerton will score the two-point bucket and a nice pass from Schneller. Walker on the drive. Look at reverse layup by Walker. Up and under, good as for two, into Bedford. Bedford will dribble up. Feed it across the timeline to Barrett. Barrett is looking to drive, and she steps over, gives it to Schneller. Schneller's going to drive in, off the backboard, no good, but gets her own rebound, fights for it. And it'll be off Heidi Schneller out of bounds with 4:32 to go. 35-34, the Valkyries leading. The Breakers on their Harvest Food scoreboard. Inbound to Walker in the backcourt. Walker for Loyola. Brings it across the timeline. Over to Clevenger. Three-point shot on the way. Looks no good off the rim. And rebound, long rebound by Kopang for Loyola. Out to Walker. Walker going to dribble to the top of the key for the Breakers. Clevenger looking to drive. Bedford stops her right there. Off the backboard, no good. Santa Stephen comes up the rebound. Gives it over to Schneller. Schneller up to Barrett. Left side. Across the timeline. Barrett looking to drive. Feeds it over to Ensley. Edgerton for three. No good. Bedford tries to save it. Come up by Denning, the basketball. Up to Walker. Walker on the rebound. Layup is good. And Loyola will take the lead, 36-35. Bedford from Schneller. Edgerton off the backboard, no good on the layup. Stolen away by Schneller. Feeds Santa Stephen. The ball's on the floor. And a timeout will be called by Loyola before Bigfork could tie it up with 3:35 to go here in the third quarter, and a battle between the Valkyries and the Breakers from Sister Rita Mud Activity Center. And the Valkyries trailing now 36-35 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. A 30-second timeout was called by Loyola. We'll be back momentarily. Well, Loyola, welcome back to Missoula and Loyola Sacred Heart High School. And Loyola will inbound to Walker. Walker across the timeline, top of the key, crossover drives, gives it to Clevenger, over to Kopang. Kopang looking to drive. Gives it out to Walker on the left side, top of the key. Kopang on the right side, on the wing. Down in the corner to Esch. Esch looking to drive. And they're going to call a little ticky-tack foul, I think, on Bedford. As Bedford reached in, that's her third team foul on the Valkyries. Loyola will inbound. Kopang out to Clevenger. Looking for Kopang in this corner, but defense covers her up. Clevenger. Walker, top of the key, long three. Looks like it's short, no good. And they're going to call it off Bigfork, and Loyola will get the basketball with Kopang underneath. Inbounding, and Jordan Nelson and Ashton McAnally will replace Schneller and Santa Steven in the lineup for Bigfork with 3:06 to go here in the third quarter. Feeds it out to Clevenger. Clevenger looking to drive. Reached in by Nelson. Clevenger has no way to go. And the foul is going to be called on Emma Barrett. Looked like she stood her ground and Clevenger lost her footing. And Clevenger went down, so Barrett's second and fourth team foul here in the second half. Kopang looking to inbound. Gives it out to Clevenger, top of the key. Over to the right side to Walker. Walker looking to drive. And Walker off the bottom of the rim. Nelson, nice defense. Doesn't give her a shot. McAnally dribbling up the left side. McAnally. And they're going to blow the whistle here in the second half, that's for sure. That's going to be on to number 20, Kelsey Esch, and her second team foul. It'll be called on Loyola with 2:49 to go here in the third quarter. Barrett inbounds to Bedford. Bedford, left side. Looking underneath. Emma runs the baseline. Emma fakes the three-point shot, comes in. Edgerton, two-point shot on the way, off the rim, and no good. And rebounded there. And put back up by Barrett for two off the backboard. 37-36. The Valkyries take the lead with 2:30 to go here in the third quarter. Shot on the way by Denning, who came the ball game for Loyola. And Bedford with the basketball gives it up to McAnally. Up to Edgerton. Edgerton, three-point shot is good. Splash down up to the bottom of the net. 40-36. They're going to call it a two. And Walker, three-point shot on the way for Loyola. No good, long rebound. McAnally grabs it down for Bigfork. Feeds it over to Bedford. Bedford on the right side. Across the timeline. She's going to get trapped over there. And the Valkyries will take a timeout. With 1:51 to go here in the third quarter. The Valkyries lead 39-36 on your Harvest Food scoreboard from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. A 30-second timeout called by Bigfork. And must have been stepped on the line. Must have been a two-point shot for Bigfork rather than a three by Edgerton. She was close to that line. And it'll be Bigfork basketball on the far side at the scorer table. It'll be Ashton McAnally inbounding the ball for Bigfork. And McAnally gets it into Barrett. Barrett back to McAnally. McAnally's going to dribble over to the top of the key, set things up for the Valkyries. McAnally being patient, drives in, finds Schneller. Schneller going to drive left. And Heidi Schneller right down the middle, off the backboard, just a little bit hard and no good. Clevenger will come down with it and drive all the way. McAnally tries to step in front and makes Clevenger miss. McAnally will come up the loose ball off the rebound, feeds it over to Barrett. Barrett looking, finds Edgerton. Edgerton looking back to Barrett. Barrett, top of the key, looking over to Schneller. Schneller fakes, drives in, and puts it up. Gets fouled. No. Gets underneath to Jordan Nelson. Jordan Nelson puts it up, and it's going to head to the free throw line as she's fouled with 1:10 to go here in the third quarter. And a 3-point lead, 39-36 for the Valkyries. And looks like Edgerton will have to come out of the ball game for some reason. And Sailor Martins will come in. Jordan Nelson will go to the line. She'll get 2 shots for the Valkyries. First shot up by Jordan, just off, a bit hard off the back of the rim and no good. She'll get 1 more for Bigfork. Jordan, the senior, the track star, soccer player, puts it up and good. 40-36, 1:10 to go. Inbound to Walker. Walker right side, cut off by Nelson. Walker's going to drive right in. And yeah, nice call. McAnally, as Walker drove in, had her feet set. She was camped right there. And Walker tries to run her over as McAnally takes the charging player control foul. A second on Walker, 4th team foul. Martins inbounds to McAnally. McAnally right side. Dribbles it across. McAnally with the basketball. Going to drive it all the way. Feeds it to Nelson. Out to Schneller. Schneller. It travels. And it'll be turnover from Bigfork to Loyola. And Ansley Edgerton will return, replacing Sailor Martins. Martins doing a nice job filling in there for Bigfork. Kopang across the timeline, left side. Dumps it in the corner to Twite. Back out to Kopang. And they're going to call a foul on number 21, Jordan Nelson. That is her 4th and 5th team foul. And Meredith Bedford will have to come back in to replace Nelson with 40.5.8 to go here in the third quarter. Inbound to Walker from Kopang. Kopang left side, looking underneath. Feeds it out to Twite. Twite over to Denning. Back out to Twite. Twite looking. Double dribbles. And actually, that's not a double dribble anymore. Actually, that's called an illegal dribble. They changed that this year. So illegal dribble on Loyola. Turnover to Bigfork. Barrett to inbound. Looking. Gives it to Edgerton. Back to Barrett. Across the timeline in the corner. Schneller left side looking to drive. Heidi Schneller on the drive, and she's going to go and get 2 shots as she's fouled going to the key. An aggressive move by Heidi Schneller with 29.9, and the Valkyries leading 40-36 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. So Schneller at the line, she'll get 2. First shot by Heidi is up and nothing but the bottom of the net by Schneller. 41-36. Valkyries lead the Breakers. Her second shot up. Off the front of the rim, just barely scrapes it. And Walker comes down with it, brings it across the timeline, feeds it up to Clevenger. Oh, long, no, misses everything. And Kopang will get the rebound, and Clevenger will get it and take it up and get fouled as she goes to the basket, and that'll be on Ashton McAnally. That is only her first, but the 6th team foul here in the second half on the Valkyries. And Sam Clevenger will go to the line, shooting 2 for Loyola. 15.1 to go here in the third quarter. Clevenger's first shot off the front of the rim and no good. And the Valkyries lead by 5, 41-36 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Second shot by Clevenger. Rolls around on the rim, no good. In and out as Edgerton will come up with it. Feeds it to Bedford. Bedford. Barrett on the left side. Back out to McAnally. Going to hold for 1 shot. Got 6 seconds, got to go. And McAnally trying to drive. And they're going to call traveling as McAnally's dribbling. Tried to get in there to get the shot. 1.2 to go for Loyola. Inbounds it to Clevenger. Clevenger chucks it up and short of the basket. 3 quarters complete from the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center for Loyola, home of the Rams and the Breakers, and the Valkyries lead. The Breakers 41-36. We'll be back with your fourth quarter action Thanks for joining me, James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals, in a heck of a ball game between the Valkyries and the Breakers from Loyola. We'll be back momentarily with the fourth quarter. All right, welcome back to Loyola. Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. It'll be Loyola basketball. Walker taking it out of bounds to start the fourth quarter. 8 minutes to go in this ball game. Inbound to Kopang. Kopang across the timeline, top of the key. Over to Esch. Esch back to Kopang on the right side. Back to Esch on the far left side. This little skip pass. Esch top of the key. Feeds it to Kopang. Kopang to Denning. Back to Clevenger. Clevenger's shot from the elbow is good for 2 for Loyola. And Santa Stephen back in the game will inbound to Schneller. Schneller. Bedford. Barrett. And Edgerton. Edgerton's jump shot is good from the baseline from about 8 feet away. 43-38. As Walker brings it up the court, across the timeline, drives it all the way in, hits the backboard, and Edgerton comes up with it. Schneller on the break. He's going to drive it all the way off the backboard, no good, but gets her own rebound, takes it up with the left hand. It's good for Bigfork. 45-38, 7 minutes to go. And Kopang brings it across the timeline, going to drive it right in. And no shot, they say. It's going to be on the floor as the foul's on number 10. That's Meredith Bedford. That will be her 4th and 7th team foul, and that means Loyola will be in the bonus shooting the 1-and-1, and the bonus the rest of the way of this ball game. So at the line, Sydney Kopang will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1. For Loyola. First shot on the way, and finds the bottom of the net. 45-39 as Ashton McAnally will come back in and replace Meredith Bedford, who has 4 personals. Second free throw by Kopang is up off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Walker. Walker puts it up off the backboard and good. 45-41. Inbounded to Edgerton, to McAnally, or excuse me, to Santa Stephen. Santa Stephen across the timeline. And she's going to take steps as she tries to get it to Schneller, and a turnover by Bigfork with 6:45 to go in the ball game. And the Valkyries leading by 4, 45-41 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Walker over to Kopang. Kopang looking under Clevenger. Feeds it over to Ash on the left side. Ash top of the key. Feeds it to Kopang. Kopang looking to jump the 3. 3-point shot off the rim and no good. Long rebound brought down by Kelsey Etch. Etch feeds it to Denning. Denning drives baseline. Off the backboard and good. 45-43. Santa Stephen feeds it up to Schneller. Schneller looking to drive on Kopang. Right side. Schneller looking for somebody cutting. Out of the top of the key to McAnally. McAnally. Over to Schneller. Schneller looking to drive. Takes it up and good on the baseline drive by Heidi Schneller. 47-43. And Walker across the timeline for Loyola. Feeds it over to Kopang. Kopang looking to shoot the 3-point in the quarter to Clevenger. Natalie feeds her sister Sam. Sam's shot no good. Rebounded by Edgerton. Up to Santa Stephen. Santa Stephen looking to drive on the right side. And little spin move, took one too many steps, and traveling on Bigfork. And number 21, Jordan Nelson, return with the Valkyries. 5:46 to go in the ball game. 47-43 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. The Valkyries lead the Breakers from Loyola. Walker Feeds it over to Esch, left side, underneath to Clevenger. Clevenger by Edgerton, rebound by Edgerton. As she's falling, she gives it up to Barrett. And Kopang will get the loose ball, throws it up, and fouled by McAnally. As Edgerton got the rebound, but she's going down, tries to get rid of it to Barrett. Barrett couldn't come up with it cleanly. And Loyola comes up with the basketball, get 2 shots for Kopang. Kopang at the line. First shot on the way is good. Loyola making their free throws. 47-44, 5:30 to go in this ball game, and Kopang with another free throw for Loyola. Second shot is good. 47-45. Now, inbound is Schneller. McAnally with the basketball. Feeds it up to Edgerton. Edgerton looking for Nelson. Nelson, left-handed shot. Good for Jordan Nelson. Inbound, Kopang, left side, over to Esch in the left corner. Esch looking to drive. Out to Walker, out to Kopang, back underneath to slam Clevenger. Clevenger, ball knocked away, stolen by Bigfork. Barrett to the basketball. Feeds it up to McAnally. McAnally over to Jordan Nelson. And tipped away by Loyola. Tipped out of bounds by Loyola. It should be Bigfork basketball underneath, and they're going to give the basketball to Loyola as Nelson was trying to hit Edgerton and tipped away. Walker feeds it up to Esch. Esch on the drive. That's on Heidi. It is on Emma Barrett. Emma Barrett's third. And back to the free throw line is Sydney Kopang for Loyola, as Loyola trails by 4, 49-44 with 4:54 to go. First shot rolls around on the rim and drops. 49-46, Valkyries lead on their Harvest Food scoreboard, and Kopang will get one more free throw. 19 fouls against Bigfork, 5 against Loyola here in the second half. So Loyola in the bonus takes advantage of it, makes the second. 49-47. Heidi Schneller inbound by Schneller. Kopang will come up the loose ball. As Esch comes up with it, she's going to get fouled by Heidi Schneller. That is going to Schneller's fourth, and that will put the Breakers in a double bonus situation, and they'll get 2 shots the rest of this ball game. Kelsey Etch, first shot on the way is good. And timeout will be taken. A full timeout by the Valkyries with 4:48 to go. And Bigfork leading 49-48 over Loyola from Loyola, Missoula, Montana, and Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. And just to let you know, fans are rolling in, pretty even on both sides between Loyola and Bigfork. And Bigfork's cheerleaders are down here cheering with Loyola. So teaming up to cheer for tonight's game, a big ball game tonight. And we'll have the Vikings and Rams in the second half of our doubleheader coming up next. I want to remind you, if you're listening now to the Valkyries, okay, I will disconnect from the stream and start a new stream when the Vikings game comes on about 5-10 minutes before tip-off. So if you see it go dead, you lose the stream, you should, because we're going to record and start a new game. So just be aware of that, folks listening out there. 406-270-7384. The voice of the Vikes of Val, James LaFontaine, and at the line, Esch will get another free throw. She makes it, so we're tied at 49. Emma Barrett across the timeline, top of the key for Bigfork. Kopang on a loose ball from Esch, up, as Barrett loses it, scores it 51-49, 4:28 going into Barrett. Barrett dribbling up the left side, screen set by Edgerton, and Barrett is going to get fouled in the backcourt. And that'll foul be on Sydney Kopang, her third and 16th foul. One more on Loyola, and Bigfork will be in the bonus. Inbound to Edgerton, back to Barrett. Barrett to the basketball, left side, with 4:17 and counting to go. Barrett feeds to Sneller, guarded by Walker, out to Edgerton. Edgerton off her feet and loses it out of bounds. So turnover by the Valkyries to Loyola with 4:08 to go. And Valkyries trailing by 2, 51-49. Walker, bothered there by Nelson. On the left side, top of the key, passes out to Kopang. Kopang, far side to Esch in the left corner, brings it out towards the wing. Walker with a three-point shot on the way is good by Loyola with 3:47 to go in this ball game, and Loyola will take a full timeout as they stretch the lead to 5, 54-49, as the Valkyries have led most of the way, and Loyola's hit some big shots, and Valkyries have turned it over here in the fourth quarter and take the lead on your Harvest Food scoreboard, 54-49. We'll be back with the rest of the fourth quarter momentarily from Loyola. All right, welcome back to Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. Battle between the Valkyries and the Breakers. And Valkyries trail 54-49 with 3:47 to go. Edgerton underneath in the far end to take it out of bounds. And on the inbounds, Loyola is going to get called for a holding. We'll see who that's against. Against Walker. Laney Walker with the third, 17th foul. Heidi Schneller, a chance to go to the line and shoot a 1-on-1 for Bigfork. First shot on the way, off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded there by Clevenger. Clevenger nearly stolen by Schneller. Walker with the basketball, top of the key, harassed. Up and under, she tries to go. Nope, out to Esch, to Kopang, over to Clevenger, back to Sam Clevenger underneath. Just to kick it out to Natalie. Natalie's shot on the way is no good, off the rim, and out of bounds, saved by Loyola to Sam Clevenger, to Sydney Kopang. Kopang with the basketball, feeds it over to Walker. And 50 feet from the basket, Heidi Schneller's going to pick up her 5th personal foul and be out of the ball game by the senior, Schneller. And that'll send Walker to the line to shoot 2 in the double bonus. Loyola. So Bedford, Barrett, Nelson, Edgerton, and McAnally in the ball game for Bigfork. Esch, Walker, Natalie Clevenger, Sam Clevenger, and Sydney Kopang in the ball game for Loyola. Second shot on the way. This is both. Nelson comes up with the basketball and held ball. Is a call. It'll be Bigfork basketball underneath as Nelson battles for the rebound. 3:17 to go. Inbound. Barrett with the basketball, feeds it up to Bedford. Back to Barrett. Barrett across the timeline. Brings it out top, feeds it over to Bedford on the right side. Bedford looking, tries to force it. McAnally with the basketball, going to drive all the way to the basket, and no call, and Walker's going to get it on the breakaway from Clevenger, make the bucket, and fouled by Barrett. Right there, Barrett just has to let that go. She's breaking away. She's going to score the 2. And that's Emma's 4th. Right there, she just got to let her go, give up the 2, and save the foul. So Walker will go try to complete the 3-point play by Loyola. Makes it good. 57-49, 2:55 to go. Inbound to Bedford. Bedford left side looking. Up to Barrett. Barrett, the freshman for Bigfork. Feeds it to Edgerton. Barrett is going to be fouled by number 20, Kelsey Esch. And that's be Esch's 3rd, 8th-team foul. And Emma Barrett will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1 for Bigfork. First shot up and good by the freshman. 2:47 to go, within 7, 57-50. Second shot on the way and rolls in and good. 57-51 as Walker brings it across the timeline for Loyola. Gives it to Kopang. Kopang top of the key, guarded by Nelson. Feeds it to Sam Clevenger. Clevenger looking to drive on Edgerton, and drive up, shot up and no good. Rebounded there by Natalie Clevenger, but fouled on the rebound by 24, Ansley Edgerton for Bigfork. And that'll put Natalie Clevenger at the line to shoot 2. And timeout. It'll be a full timeout called by Bigfork. 2:32 to go in the ball game, and the Bigfork Valkyries, after leading most of the ball game into the 3rd quarter, trail 57-51 on your Harvest Food scoreboard with 2:32 to go left in the ball game. We'll be back momentarily with the rest of your 4th quarter from Loyola. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals. Be back momentarily. All right, welcome back. Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. Valkyries trailing 57-51 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. And Natalie Clevenger will be at the line, shooting 2 for Loyola. First one is good to stretch the lead, 58-51. Second shot no good. McAnally comes up with the rebound, dribbles in the corner, feeds it out to Bedford, up to Barrett. Barrett across the timeline, up the left side. She's going to bring it out to the top. A little urgency there for Barrett as she tries to drive. And Barrett is going to be fouled by number 5. That's Lainey Walker. Lainey Walker, that is her 4th. And just the 9th team foul on Loyola. And Barrett, an opportunity, she shoots a 1-and-1 for the Valkyries. First shot up off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Kopang. Kopang across the timeline. Ash in the corner, out to Kopang. Kopang to Walker. Walker looking to drive. Feeds it over to Ash on the left side, out to Kopang. They're just trying to run clock, out to Walker. Walker, top of the key. Underneath to Ash, wide open, off the backboard, and no good, misses it. And Bigfork comes up with the rebound. There's McAnally, and McAnally will go to the line in the double bonus and get a chance to score 2 for Bigfork with 1:56 to go. That is Kelsey Esch's 4th and 10th team foul on the Breakers with 1:56 to go, and the Valkyries trailing 58-51. McAnally at the line. Double bonus, 2 shots for Bigfork. First shot up and good. 58-52. Sailor Martins comes in for Bigfork along with Isabella Stana-Steven for Bedford and Edgerton. I think that's for defensive reasons and be able to have a few fouls to get up to extend the game. Second shot is up and good. Valkyries within 5. Kopang gives the ball to Walker. Walker on the drive. And McAnally reaches in and picks up a foul, her 3rd. And that'll put Loyola back at the line for 2 shots as Laney Walker will shoot 2 for Loyola. Rolls it in, the first shot by Walker, 59-53 as Edgerton and Bedford will come back in the ball game for the Valkyries. Offense, defense switch here by Coach Gunlock, and Walker gets 1 more for Loyola. Second shot is good. 60-53, 1:51 to go. Edgerton into Bedford, over to McAnally, back to Bedford. Bedford dribbles it up, looking to pass, finds it to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive, crossover, off the backboard, oh, just off the rim, and no good. And Barrett will go to the line, shooting 2 for the Valkyries. That's the second foul, number 2, Sam Clevenger. And Emma Barrett will get 2 shots for the Valkyries. Needs a little bit more leg in the 4th quarter, shoots that one a little bit short. And offense, defense as Sailor Martins and Isabella Stana-Steven comes in for Bigfork. Barrett's second shot up and on the way. This one looks a little bit better. Drops it in the bottom of the net. And 60-54. Kopang over to Clevenger, back to Walker. Walker to Kopang, nearly turns it over on the over and back, over to Natalie Clevenger. Walker with the basketball, looking for Kopang, getting dribbled back out to run the clock out. Natalie Clevenger. Kopang with the basketball, feeds it off to Walker. Back to Natalie Clevenger. And McAnally will foul Natalie Clevenger, the freshman, and put her at the line. See if this strategy works as they trail 60-54 with 1:08 to go in the ball game under Harvest Foods scoreboard. And Natalie Clevenger will get 2 shots for Loyola. First shot is up and good. Looks like the Breakers know how to shoot free throws down the stretch. Ansley Edgerton, along with Meredith Bedford, back in, for Bigfork, and Loyola will take the full timeout with the Breakers leading the Valkyries 61-54 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. I'll take a short break and be right back with you for the rest of this ball game from Loyola. All right, we're back to the Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. At the line, 21, Natalie Clevenger, and she'll get 1 more with 1:08 to go. Second shot is up and good, 62-54. Substitutions for Loyola coming back in the ballgame. Number 3, Lanny Denning, and number 24, Violet Whitegrass. Edgerton in to Barrett. Barrett across the timeline. Dribbles up. Kicks it out to Bedford. Bedford turns it over to Kopang. Kopang on the drive. Feeds it out to Esch. Esch will bring it out the top of the key. Stolen away by Jordan Nelson. But Nelson steps on the sideline on this near side, nearly making a great steal by Jordan Nelson. And she was off to the races. Walker back in for Loyola and Clevenger. Nelson, Barrett, Bedford, McAnally, Edgerton for the Valkyries. Just under 45 and counting. Esch gonna turn it over. And on the drive, here goes Bedford. Bucket is good. 62-56. Within 30 seconds of counting. Walker with the basketball for Loyola. Nice steal by Emma Barrett. Kicks it up to Bedford. Bedford on the drive, scores those 2. McAnally guarded. Walker at the top of the key, dribbling the basketball. They got to foul somebody. You got to foul somebody. Put them at the line. Extend the game, 9 seconds and counting. Out to Esch, or excuse me, Kopang, and that'll run out the ball game. A heck of a ball game from Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center as Loyola comes back, as the Valkyries led most of the game, and the Breakers will win this 62-56 on your Harvest Foods scoreboard. The final from Loyola in Missoula, Montana. I'll be back with your full game stats here momentarily from Loyola as soon as I get them. Stick around. We'll give you your full game stats and scoring. Well, welcome back to Missoula, Montana, Sister Rita Mudd Activity Center. Yeah, the Valkyries take that one on the chin in a very hard-fought ball game here from Loyola. As they lose 62-54, an 8-point tough road loss for the Valkyries. Try to get your halftime or full game stats. I don't know if I'm going to get those in time. Maybe we'll catch up with you in the boys' ball game. Oh, here they come from. No. Yeah, I'm going to get a full game stats. So your final from Loyola, the Valkyries 56. Excuse me, 62 for the Breakers as they came back to beat Bigfork. Bigfork led most of the way. So another ball game coming up for you. That is your final. Thanks for joining us for Valkyrie basketball tonight from Loyola. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals. If you're going to listen to the Vikings ball game, understand this. I'm going to log this streaming off, and I will sign back in here in about 10 minutes or so and bring you that Viking basketball as they're warming up. So once again, thanks for joining us from Missoula, Montana. Your final, the Valkyries 54, Loyola Breakers 62. Valkyries will be in action Thursday. It's coming up on Tuesday at home, taking on the Columbia Falls Wildcats. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night. We'll catch you on the flip side with Viking.